Good day, everyone. Hello, my name is Terry Williams, and I am with the Seattle BUiLT chapter. I am stepping in for our president, Tony North, who is not able to be with us today, but he gave me this opportunity to be able to step in. And I'd like to introduce to you a pleasure that we have to be able to hear from Dr. Robert Joseph today. And he will be bringing us the talk for today. Look forward to what it is that he has to bring to us, and we'll go from there. So, Dr. Joseph, it's all yours. Go for it.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's just the three of us. So
Okay.
Bubakar, if you don't mind turning on your camera and we'll just have a great discussion.
Okay. Great.
So I just want to first start off by saying thank you to BUiLT. I am a BUiLT member and think that the organization is doing some great things. And also thank you guys for coming out coming out dialing in to this
It's all
talk.
relative, right?
Yeah, it is. But really, thank you for spending the time on this because you can spend your time in a number of different ways, and I appreciate when people spend their time to allow me to be in their presence. So really appreciate that. On that note, I just want each of you to tell me what are you looking to get out of today? Like, what would make today something that you say, okay, it was worth my time to do?
That's a very good question. For me, I'm all about always how can I learn something new? I don't know what that new is. I'm totally open to every day and excited to just go learn something new. So I'm just here looking at what your tagline is mindset or mind shift. That
Mhm.
always intrigues me when I hear stuff about mind shift or transformation or transitional type of thing. Okay, let me see where this is going to see what I can add to my tool belt and go from there.
Sounds good.
Mm.
All right. Bubakar, what about you? And is that how you pronounce your name, Bubakar?
Yes, that's how you pronounce my name, Bubakar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and me, I am like early in my career in IT.
Mhm.
I was doing teaching before, and I decided to move in to to IT about 3 years ago when the pandemic started.
Mhm.
So I'm just learning. I I'm trying to get into data science and stuff. I took a lot of courses on it, so I'm just in my journey of learning. So I decided to join and stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. So, Bubakar, you're looking at this from the standpoint of maybe what can you get to help extend your career and what can you get for tools that you can use for a better job or to do something out on your own. Is that
Yeah,
a good statement?
yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So, Terry, what I'd like for you to look at is not just learning in general, but think about some of the issues that you have either with your job or with your not issues, but things that if you apply AI and if you apply data to that might change how you do things or might give you some insight into what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And so think about some of the things that you're trying to accomplish and listen to what I talk about from that standpoint. Because that then gives you an anchor, and you're not a passive person just listening to me talk, but you both are going to be active in helping to generate what we're going to talk about. Because this talk is for you guys.
Yeah,
Fair enough?
fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And just a little bit about the name. The reason that we call ourselves Team Mindshift is because that's what we like to do, shift people's perspective on how they think about learning and talent development, as well as we also do technology enablement. So we do data science work, we
Hmm.
do data analytics work. And this is just a little bit about me. Um, very technical, but also very much about problem solving. And as I think about technology, I don't think about it from the standpoint of, well, I did go to MIT, so I do think about it from the standpoint of, ooh, that's really cool technology. But I also think about what are the things that that technology will enable me to do that can help me to reach my goals. And that's important because I've seen so many projects that are like, let's use generative AI, or let's use this, new shiny object. Let's use blockchain. Let's use this. But it's not anchored in solving a problem. So the first agenda is what we're going to talk about: why be data driven, steps to become more data driven, why AI, and getting started or using AI more. So those are the topic areas. As we go through this, feel free to ask questions and participate. So why be AI driven? If I showed you a bunch of these numbers, what do they look like to you? And if I said these are the grades of the students, they look like a bunch of jumbled stuff, right?
Numbers, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if I say that the median is 87%, then I'm not giving you any new data from the numbers, but I'm giving you some new insight, right? Because now you're saying, okay, so the students are half of the students are at 87% or more, the other half are at 87% or less.
Okay.
That's insight that you get from data. And so let me take this a little bit further and say this is a box and whisker plot in which this represents the top dash represents the highest number, the highest grade. The bottom dash right here represents the lowest grade. This area here is the bottom 25%. This is between 25% and 50%. That line represents 50%. And then this represents from 50% to 75% of the grades, and then 75% to 100. Again, not giving you any more information because these are just reflecting the numbers that are there, but how I'm presenting the data to you gives you more insight, because you can see now that for the top 25%, the grades are really close. But you start to look at this area, the bottom and the mid 25%, and those grades are spread out. So as a teacher, there are a lot of different concepts that the students don't understand, but the ones that do understand it, they understand it pretty well, all the concepts. And so this is just a simple example of how data can help you.
It's all in the presentation, then it sounds like.
Well, some of it's presentations,
Yeah,
but I like to think of it as all about perspective,
sure. Okay.
because it could be presentation, it could be other things too. It doesn't have to be just a visualization. It could be how I encode it to make predictions or things of that nature.
Okay.
How you doing?
Good. Hi. Sorry I'm late.
That's
Doing a little
okay.
drop off. Yeah.
We're glad you're here. You
Yeah.
must be a parent talking about drop off.
Absolutely. So yes.
Yes. So really, we're talking about data analytics and data science. And what I want to talk about is really a shift in thinking and a shift in perspective. Because we're all hearing people say, oh, my company needs to use generative AI. Oh, I need to do something in AI. Oh, AI is the next field. How many of you have heard that before?
Oh, for sure. All the time, every day.
Yes. And I want to shift that conversation into what can I do to bring value to the company? Because when I shift that conversation that way, and then say, okay, now what are the characteristics of AI that can help me solve the company problem? Then I have a initiative that has a better chance of being successful, because I have initiative that's based in bringing value to the company and not just about using the nice, bright, shiny object. So let me give you another sort of example of this. So AI, especially generative AI, is good for producing writing, producing content. So you could use generative AI in a way of being able to produce articles for, let's say, a LinkedIn Learn campaign. And you could use it, maybe not raw, but you could use it to help accelerate that process. And so I now use generative AI and I accelerate the process, and everybody's reading my posts. I get, engagement. People are like, oh, your posts are great. I read every post that you've done. It's awesome. And they do nothing. They read it and they do nothing. But if you had the perspective of, I want to generate content to drive people to buy my product or to join my membership subscription, then the content that you write is targeted for that. And now you have people that are reading your posts and taking action. You're using the same tool, you're using generative AI, but it's the perspective that you take in terms of the problem that you're trying to solve that makes the difference for your company, and it makes the difference for you being more effective. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. So the perspective you take as well as to how you go by formulating the
The
question to
query.
get
Hmm.
to get to the answer that you're looking for.
Yes. And
Yeah,
that answer needs to be driven by providing value for the company. If
sure.
you're doing something for the company.
Okay.
And I like the way you say sure, Terry.
No, 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 no.
No. Let me finish. I like the way you say sure, because everybody says, yeah, of course I'm going to drive stuff for value. And then you see leaders saying, okay, I want you to solve this particular problem without looking and seeing how that problem is going, how the solution to that problem is going to drive value.
Yeah,
So you have these AI initiatives that are millions and millions of dollars not succeeding because the problem that they're solving is not the right problem that's going to drive value.
right,
It's a
right,
symptom of what they might think could drive value.
right. I can see that. Yeah. Yeah. And matter of fact, I had a
Yeah.
situation exactly like that too. I know exactly where you're going with that.
Yes, it happens all the time. And so, you know, just a side note, we at Team Mindshift, as I said, we do technology development, and we also do talent. We do talent and workforce development. We do technology enablement. So prior to co-founding Team Mindshift, I was the director of industrial strategy at Stanley Black and Decker doing IoT work. And I saw a lot of different projects not succeed. And Stanley was pouring in money, as a lot of companies were. People were working really hard, but you would see the disconnect between the problem that they were solving and the value that they were trying to drive. And I've seen that in a number of other companies.
Yeah, I also, as a content person for a long time in IT, yeah, this is really common because we don't speak the same language a lot of the time, and the strategy has to be tied to what the goals are. So I think that extra step of really clarifying, I don't know whether that's a project management role, just a, program management role, but that step I think sometimes gets lost. I mean, even when creating apps, when creating all, when doing all the things. So yeah, like saying AI, I think as you say, it's the shiny new toy, but people don't really think about the science behind it. A little bit of information architecture, like how is the information being gathered is something you need to have in the back of your mind so that you can ask the right questions when you are, trying to get content generated. It's not just as simple as honestly, some just came into my head. Remember when it was out like a million years ago? And it was the same kind of thing. They were using us to test, like, how should I phrase a question? Well, it's really the same conversation. Like, how should I be phrasing these queries in order to get the result that I want? So, yeah, totally agree with what you're saying.